Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us again for another edition in the Direct Line Development Vlog series, where we teach you about websites, search engine optimization, marketing, really everything that you need to know online to promote your business. Today, ironically enough, we're going to be talking about the 7 steps in choosing the right web design company in Philadelphia. So, as you're all probably well aware at this point, or hopefully so, all professional companies have websites. There's simply no escaping their necessity in the business environment of today's world. Customers flock to the internet for everything from finding the closest stores near them to figuring out how long they're open. Because some businesses only operate online in the form of e-commerce websites. The point that I'm trying to make here is that if you don't have a website, then you're either from another planet or you simply haven't gotten the memo yet. Or your business is already so successful and so well established that you don't need any new customers at all. Nice to see you. This means you at one point had to make the decision of deciding whom you wanted to entrust the image of your brand online. Because if you're like most people, this decision wasn't as simple as you might have hoped that it would be in the beginning. In fact, the amount of web design specialists and web developers out there nowadays seems to be growing at an exponential rate, making these decisions more and more difficult to make with each day that passes. This, coupled with the fact that websites are playing an increasingly important role in the value of your company and its potential to succeed in the modern world, make choosing the right web design company for you no easy task. So, how do you make the right decision? How do you actually choose? While there are many different factors that all contribute to an individual's decision-making process, I have attempted to distill an algorithmic process to help guide you in the daunting feat of selecting the right web developer to meet your business needs. Using Philadelphia as a model for our examples, we will show you the best and most practical way to make the right decision for you and your business when deciding how to choose a professional web design company that will build you a site that works especially for your company. So, step 1. Make a list of no less than 10 web design companies in your area, in this case in Philadelphia. This is by far the easiest step in my opinion. Since you are indeed dealing with companies whose specialty is presence on the internet, you can find and compile a list of them simply by using Google. It is important that you create a table and place the names of the companies and the sites in an organized list so that it's easy for you to refer back and add additional information as you see fit. Now, as you scan through Google search listings, I should first say immediately that just because a company is at the top of these listings doesn't necessarily mean they are the best on the web or the best web design company in your area, Philadelphia. Make sure that you scan through at least 10 different pages and make sure you're diversifying your options. I also believe that you will be surprised at the sheer number of companies building websites in the Philadelphia area. So this moves us on to step 2. First, attempt to communicate. All right, you've gone out and you've made your list, you've made your table. Now you've narrowed down your top choices. You're going to want to reach out to each one of these companies to find out additional information that's specific to your company and your needs. A simple email should suffice. Something along the lines of, hey, we're a beauty salon in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Our site was made many years ago and needs to be updated or even completely redone. Judging by your site, the information on it, it seems as though you offer such web design services. If you could send us some basic information detailing items such as whether or not you have the capacity to handle such a job, preliminary price quote, and any other information that you deem necessary to share, we would greatly appreciate it. Send that all out. So that moves us on to step 3 once you sent this email, once this first touch is made. The first round cuts, removing all the companies who can't work quickly. Now, this might seem like common sense to some, but if you don't receive a response of any form from any of these web design companies within 2 working days, it's honestly your best bet to cut them from the list and remove them from all further consideration in your decision-making process. The fact of the matter is, if it takes them this long just to get back to your initial order, imagine how long it's going to take them once they already have your money. This just almost goes without saying. I mean, if you're feeling generous, you can increase the wait period to 3 days, but honestly, no longer than that. You'll be genuinely surprised at how long it takes some of these companies to get back to you. And this will greatly slim down your list. Some companies might not get back to you at all. Step 4, the first meeting. This is the longest and most exhausting step in the whole process, but it is also the most crucial. It is at this point where you're vetting for a potential partner who will be with you for several years in the future. I understand that time is indeed money, but you need to give this stage its due diligence. It deserves it if you plan to make money from the internet as you prepare to spend money on the internet. And once again, it goes without saying, a lot of things go without saying. As you prepare for this meeting, you need to come up with a lengthy list of professional questions. Your list of questions should range from everything from, what has this company done in the past, to asking how they would handle a potential problem down the road. The goal here is not only to determine whether or not they're capable of meeting your immediate needs, but also to see if they're the kind of company that's going to stick with you long term after all the paperwork is signed. So this moves us to step 5, analyzing the data that you gather from the first meeting. So as I said earlier in the video, it's at this point where you should begin filling out the data from each meeting next to the name of the company in your original list. By aggregating all of your data into one convenient place, you're going to better be able to compare and contrast each company's individual advantages and disadvantages. Here are some of the questions that you should have found answers to. What's the average speed of website development for a project such as the one you are proposing? In the past 2 years, how many similar projects has your company successfully completed? In terms of the company's development staff, how many of them are in-house and how many of them are outsourced? How many of them are somewhere else? Is the company capable of building your website and simultaneously promoting it? As you may know, it's one thing to have a website, but it's another thing if nobody sees it. It's important to understand from the very start which companies are capable of bringing the visitors you need to be profitable in an online world. While there are many different ways to reach all of these goals, the most convenient is having it all done by the same company. Next question. How do payments work? Does the fee need to be paid all at once, or can installments be made over a, say, 6 to 8 month period? Be sure to ask about interest if they offer you financing. Don't be shy either in asking for an initial design from the company before the contract is even signed. Some of the best companies are glad to demonstrate their capabilities for your business, specifically in order to showcase their work and dedication. When you're passionate, you want to share it with people. Step 6, receiving the commercial offers. By this point, you've continued to narrow down your list in accordance with the previously outlined standards, and you should be dealing with no more than 8 to 10 web design companies in Philadelphia or your area. It's at this point that you should be calling or emailing these potential partners for an official quote and timeline for your proposed project. Before making any quick decisions, wait until you receive quotes from all the companies you've asked. Once all the offers are aggregated and in front of you, I advise that unless there's some highly unusual circumstances at play, you remove the 2 most expensive companies and the 2 cheapest companies. Oftentimes, companies seek to inflate their prices to either take advantage of or to begin the bargaining process from a strong position. Remember, you're looking for partners, not people who want to spin you for a loop. Similarly, the cheapest companies probably reflect their low prices in the quality of work or their desperation for it, let's be honest. Either way, low prices in the web development world are often too good to be true. Next step, 7, comfort of communication. This is exactly what it sounds like. How easy was it for you to communicate with the company in general and connect with the people specifically? This is an incredibly important determinant in your decision-making process. You're going to be working with and communicating with these people for several months, and it's their job, not yours, it's their job to make this as easy as possible for you. Your role is to run your company, and theirs is to bring it to life online, not to give you an extra job in your title. I suggest that you evaluate the ease of communication on the following parameters. How long did it take for the representatives to reply to emails? How quickly were they able to provide you with data that you requested? In terms of quality company representatives, Were they willing to go out of their way to explain all the aspects of the web development process? Were they knowledgeable? Did you know more than them? And most importantly, how did you feel throughout your correspondence with the company? Step 7 is without a doubt the most important. So, you have anywhere from 3 to 5 companies left from which to choose. You're pretty satisfied with all of them, really. But how do you make the final decision and determine which is the best of the best? I'll offer you a simple and elegant solution to conclude your quest. Big old whiteboard in your office. Write out the 10 latest sites created by each of your final choices. Once you've done this, ask your employees, ask all of them, to visit these sites and just mark a tally next to those that they like. This is going to help you to bring outside perspective and remove any biases that you might have developed through your search. The company with the most tallies is the people's favorite, the people's champ. And after all, it's the people you want to win over at the end. By the way, we here at Direct Line Development always have the most tallies in the end. Our work truly speaks for itself, and honestly, that's not just hyperbole. We run this test all the time, and we tend to win by a mile. So, why don't we give a practical experiment in this? In the process of creating this video, we decided to create a fun little experiment. We created a fictitious company and registered an email address to it. We wrote to 20 different web design companies in Philadelphia inquiring about their services. Our suspicions were satisfied. Many of these companies frankly did not even respond to us. The results of our experiment provided us with the following pieces of information. 4 companies were able to respond to the email on the same day we sent it. 4 more companies responded within 24 hours. 1 company responded on the 5th day, and 1 more responded on the 6th. The rest of the companies gave no response whatsoever. Although we should say that at least 2 of them had automated email responses, but they came with absolutely no human follow-up. Honestly, whether it's a web developer or any professional services company, how could you work with somebody who doesn't even respond to order requests from their own website? As this experiment shows, always test your potential partners before giving them your business. At Direct Line Development, we work through a system that records the time between each correspondence we have with our clients. Currently, our company-wide average response time is 2 hours and 21 minutes, and we're always working to bring that average down to 1 hour. So let's bring it all together. This scheme is no means an exhaustive and most certainly not complete method. We recommend that you amend it to fit your company's specific needs and decision-making processes. What it will do is get you started in the right direction and help you root out all the companies that will waste your time and your money. In the process, we took into account all the aspects that gave our customers confidence in their web design companies. We want to emphasize the importance of considering these firms for not only their abilities to meet your immediate needs, but to consistently provide for you and to make you money. That's what the point of this is. It's why people market. Put this algorithm into action and honestly see how it works for you. If you have any questions about the viability of your results, about a company's specific actions throughout the process, please feel free to write to us. Put it in the comments below, or you can drop us a line on our website, and a representative just like me will gladly address your concerns. Thank you once again so much for tuning in for another episode in the Direct Line Vlog series, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.